All right, gonna get us a few seconds here. Okay, let's get the right one. And all right, this is kind of spurred a moment. So, uh, so I'm kind of relaxed today. But listen, today I want to talk about something that people have been asking me about on my social media. Okay, why is it that it seems like I'm so opposed to basically why am I opposed to one way correcting? And I'm talking about when you see somebody post something on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff, Twitter, all of that. And oftentimes, now I'm not, let me just say, because what kind of spurred this was Willie D of the Ghetto Boys. I follow him and he's been posting some comments. He posts some good material, so this is no knock towards him. I really do enjoy his content. He's probably one of the most he is the most realist person posting on social media about current events. But here's my thing. You know, a lot of times, and I say this specifically with people who want to be influencers or even celebrities, there's this thing about if you know that you have, let's say, 80 to 70% female audience, you're going to use basically key titles to target them to get them to listen or to hear what you got to say. Or sometimes it's just outright, you're targeting them specifically. And I get all that. I get all the marketing, I get all the advertising, I get all the tagging and getting people to listen. But here's my thing. I don't think it's right that that you say that you want to post stuff that's relevant. You want to post stuff that's going to help people. But you only post stuff that's negative towards men. You only post stuff that's negative towards women. And that part I don't understand. Because here's my thing. Excuse me. If you seriously are trying to help people, if you seriously are trying to be a voice and you want people to be better, if I'm constantly posting stuff saying that men are this, men are that, men, you need to start doing this, women don't tolerate this from men, women don't tolerate that from men are this, men are that, I'm basically alienating my men audience. Now, I can always come back and try to weaken my argument by saying, oh, if you're a man and you don't like this, then you sensitive, you're a simp, you weak. No, because you're generalizing your statements. And the other thing is, you're so busy using your words to come at the men that it's almost like, it's almost like they're giving women this arc over them, like they're perfect, they do nothing wrong. And it's like nobody wants to say anything to the women, despite the fact that we know there's women out there cheating. We know there's women out there dating younger men. We know there's women out there that's molesting people. We know there's women doing all of this stuff, but yet nobody's saying anything as far as correcting the women. When you look at the school teacher issue, now I understand what hashtag Me Too, they kind of stole that. But, when they did the whole hashtag Me Too movement, the modified version, they were really going after men and talking about men, and I get that. But what about all of the high school female teachers? And there were some men too, but it was a lot of female teachers that were, never even mentioned. So my thing is, if you're going to correct one group, if you're going to come out and say, I feel like, people need to be better at this. If you want to say men need to be better at this, then I'm pretty sure you need to address the issue that there are things that women need to be better at. If you're saying that women need to be better at something, then you need to address the issue with men. But you need to do it so it's balanced, not so you just calling out one group, not so you just calling out one gender, like you attacking one group, and then want to get mad and call people wimps and simps and weak and all this other type stuff. The bottom line is, if you want to educate the public on being morally and being accountable and responsible for their life, their actions, how they treat and what they do, then you need to do that across the board. You know, if you're going to talk about the fact that women, that women don't need to be with men who try to keep them from their families. You got women who try to keep men from their families. You got women who try to keep men from their kids. So you need to counter, you need to address both sides. You need to be responsible about making sure that if you're going to post stuff to where you're correcting and disciplining a person or a group or individuals about their behavior, then you need to do it across the board. Because if you don't do it across the board, you're giving this one group the mentality that, they're perfect, and they're not. They're not perfect. No group of person perfect. No race is perfect. No gender is perfect. But the thing about it is, unless you start speaking to both sides and saying, listen, I understand you feel this way, but men feel this way, but both of you need to be responsible in how you handle this, how you get together, how you deal with situations, how you communicate. You got to cover both sides. Because if you just talking to one side, you just alienating the other side. And eventually they're not going to hear nothing you want to say. And that's why so many people that when they get on that line to where they are only addressing one group, one individual, one gender, one race, and they're stuck on that. So when then they try to speak to the other people, it's like, man, nobody's trying to hear you. That's Steve. You see what happened to Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey fell into that. He knew that his biggest audience was women, so he totally 100% dove into that by complaining about men, how men wasn't this, men wasn't that, writing books about how women can get to know men. He basically categorized and generalized men all in one lump sum. So eventually, men got tired of it. Men have buying power as well. Now, to take this on a little personal note, as far as being black, the reason that it gets me is that when black people, if you have a majority black audience, and if your audience is majority black, and you are making these comments about men, the women that are listening to your post, that are hearing what you're saying, they are connecting that with black men. So that's what I'm saying. You got to be cautious about how you do these things, how you speak, because if you don't, then you're being careless. If you're just out here trying to get your money, get your likes, and sell your merchandise, that's you. But be responsible for how you do it. Be accountable for how you go about it. Don't always feel like or attack people to say that the only way I can do this is by making sure that I put all men on the chopping block. I'll get my women listeners, they'll get behind me. And that's what a lot of people are doing. That's what a lot of people are doing. And it's not right. It's not right. If you want to help be a solution, then you got to address all of the issues. You can't just address it with one group. You can't just say that it's all men or it's all women. You got to point out the mistakes on both sides. You got to point out both sides. If you're only pointing out one side, you're doing an injustice, not only to the other side, to yourself, but also the people that so-called listen to you. You got to be mindful about what you communicate and how you communicate it. All right, so that's it for now. I just want to get that little rant out the way. I might do a longer video later and drop some real names.